So, I just finished 3 drinks in 4 minutes. They were awesome. And I feel like it would be a great time to tell you about small business owners. It's just the time to spill the beans on those fuckers. So, these guys, pretty much, my bad, the biggest assholes you'll ever meet in your life. Specifically, they feel like they're the personification of capitalism. They feel like they've taken risks and it's paying off, and they didn't inherit it. Like, they specifically did this and it's worked out for them. So they will fight tooth and nail defending it, defending capitalism for all its faults, for sex trafficking, for all kinds of horrific things going on. And they'll fight tooth and nail because they're not super educated about the subject. They just, their own ego and their own feelings are what's clouding how they feel, and they will do anything to just say, no, fuck this, people just need to work harder. And they do it all the time. And one other reason that they're the biggest assholes ever compared to big business owners is that they can't outsource. Their expenses are fucking huge. They pay big ass taxes. They're pissed off about that, and their expenses are big, and they can't cut costs on that because they're too small to have millions of dollars to do what they need to do to make their business run a lot more efficiently. The third thing, I have 7 points here, and the third one is that there's some claim that 95% of innovation comes from small businesses. Where did that come from? Imagine the smartest person in your class, the smartest 5 people in your class. Why would they go work for some mom and pop company? Why would they work for some random dude who's selling t-shirts? Or some other small, tiny outfit? It's like the smartest, best people who are going to innovate and create things and do all this jazz. They're not going to go work for some tiny company. They're going to be trying to get signed by some huge company, make 150 grand a year. Why would they hedge their bets against some small company becoming huge? It's not going to work out like that. That's the biggest crock of shit I ever heard. The fourth point is that there's a belief that 80% of innovation comes from small businesses. And that's flagrantly not true. Most innovation comes from public research, university research, and military tech. Massive funding was from the military during World War II and World War I. Massive funding was put aside for psychology and geology. Almost everything we know from those two fields came from the US government wanting to understand people better and terrain better, and understand the oceans better. So you can get any kind of research funded back then when they were just dying to know what would happen with people, their troops, the submarines, the terrain, mountains, all this stuff. And the sixth point is that there's this idea that small business owners take this huge risk. They save up money and they take this huge risk in starting a business. And the reality is that the risk isn't that big. The only thing that's going to happen to them is that their business is going to fail and they're going to become one of us. One of the people who work for an hourly wage, who know exactly what they're going to make every paycheck because they log their hours and they say, okay, shit, what can I afford to pay? What bills can I afford every month? I can't afford these ones, I can't afford these ones. I'm going to take care of what's more pressing, because whoever works for an hourly wage is severely underpaid. Oh yeah, and there's no fucking debt or prisons for people who fail in small business. Like, there's no dudes in jail who are in jail because their fucking t-shirt company didn't pan out the way they thought it was supposed to. Like there's people in jail fighting fires in California and all these places for $1 to $2 an hour. They're not there because they didn't keep up on making their payments. The final point I have to make about small businesses is that they didn't get it from their parents. Most of them started it themselves, and they're the biggest dicks about it. And they're the people who are the biggest traitors to the working class. They went from working class people to petty bourgeoisie, but they're still pretty much working class because they work their asses off. They don't have an island, and they're at work all the fucking time, and they're saying all kinds of propaganda and all kinds of BS, just shitting on workers, saying, oh yeah, just fucking work hard and you can be like me. Meanwhile, most of them don't worry about rent. They lease a fucking nice vehicle, and a lot of them got money from their families or a fucking grant or some shit. But the reality is that they had a lot of unfair advantages that predisposed them to being where they are. And they're directly talking to workers and influencing workers and making workers' lives hell because they're so dissatisfied with their situation and what's going on and how tough it is to start a business and run it successfully and compete against all these huge businesses that have tremendous advantages. Small businesses don't have money to have, lobbyists to set the economy and all this stuff in their advantage. So they're competing against huge businesses that have billions and billions and billions, some of them 20 billion, 150 billion, all kinds of advantages. They have huge advantages and they're directly competing with those people. And they're predisposed to fail. And like the dream for most businesses is to grow, do good, feel smug, take a lot of vacations, grow, and then wait. And then get bought up by a big business. That's the dream. What they do is they grow, and then they gain a little bit of interest in a huge business. Some billion-dollar company says, oh, hey, you're doing pretty good. We'd like to buy you out. Yada, 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 whatever. A couple dinners go by. The goal for them is to turn down an offer and get a bigger offer. Then it's in the millions. They've worked hard. They feel like they deserve more. So what do? They turn down the next offer, which is maybe a couple million, maybe 5 million, who knows. That is a critical moment for those folks. They can take it, or they can say, well, this company is trying to buy us out, is worth hundreds of millions of dollars. So what do? And what do? The dream for those guys is to turn down 2 offers and then accept an offer worth 10 to 20 million and then sell out. That is a dream for small businesses. Small business owners are the biggest dickheads ever for all of those reasons.